Joel Marshall here. This is Lunch Therapy. So glad to have you all here. I'm out in the bird bath again because it's so damn hot here in Los Angeles. Today is Interview Friday. For those of you who have never been to the show, welcome. I'm your host, Joel Marshall. Lunch Therapy is a break from the crap. So anything going on in the world that's maybe bugging you, whether it's politics or pandemics or whatever the hell it is, come in here, take a bath, enjoy yourself. Hoi, Guignel. Guignel is here, longtime contributor to the show. Some of the most fantastic hummingbird videos have been sent by Guignel, and Guignel has the website Cult of the Hummingbird. Check it out. Hoi, Alexander. Yeah, Cappy Adiship is here. I got a great live interview today. Jay Huguley is going to be here. He's an actor. He and I met at the Beverly Hills Playhouse many, many millenniums ago, before the turn of the millennium. Ahoy, Chuck Goldsmith, Bilo. Great to see you all here. Please share this show around so that we can, have more people spread the love. I've got a little great picture for you here in the beginning of the show. This is Liz Lopez and Flash, the macaw. This is a parrot that is a friend of hers. Yudi owns this parrot. We've had him on the show before. Well, we haven't had the parrot on the show, but maybe someday. So Liz actually got to hold him on her arm, which is so cool. For those of you who don't know, Liz Lopez is one of the viewers of the show. She doesn't chat very much, but maybe someday she'll chat. She's also my mother-in-law, but she doesn't like me to say that all the time because she wants to be a person, not just my mother-in-law, because she's absolutely more than that, that's for sure. All right, let's go. Lunch therapy time. Okay, for those of you that don't know, top of the show we breathe because it's super, super necessary to breathe at all times. And I'm going to take this opportunity to train you how to breathe. It's 3 deep breaths. And then we're going to have Jay Huguley on the show. Hopefully he'll breathe as well. He's in the green room right now with my sidekick. You just saw my sidekick, the skeleton Boney. In through your nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Todd Lee is here. Let it go. He is a purveyor of the birds aren't real phenomenon. And as you know, debate in the United States as to whether birds are real or not, or whether they've been replaced by drones, which of course is absolutely ridiculous. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. This part is really largely for me because I got all jacked up when the show starts and I need to calm down. This is great. I can hear Jay breathing in the background. Now I can hear him laughing. Let it go. All right, so there we go. There's that. And now I want to say a little bit about Jay Huguley. He and I met at the Beverly Hills Playhouse. Beverly Hills Playhouse is a very kind of famous theater school here in Los Angeles. It was led by Milton Katselas, who was like a guru of acting. Lots of fantastic actors came out of there. I don't know. Maybe some people could name them in the chat room. Joel Marshall's one of them, I guess. Michelle Pfeiffer, Tom Selleck, Patrick Swayze, Jenna Elfman, perhaps George Clooney. I know I interviewed Trisha Arquette one time. She said she was there as well. So yeah, lots of great actors came out of that. Jay and I were in this class together where Jeffrey Tambor was the teacher, incredible actor. incredible teacher. Richard Lawson, who's been on the show, was our other teacher. Jeff Pierce, also on the show, was in the class. So yeah, it was a good time, super good time, really intense work. Since then, I've been following Jay's career through Facebook. We haven't seen each other since then, I guess, except maybe one time at a party we saw each other. But anyway, he's here now, and he's going to talk about what he's been doing, which is extensive. And we're going to talk about acting, and we're going to talk about living. And we're going to talk about that bird behind me. Let's get into this thing. Interview Friday, Jay Huguley. All right. Yeah. I got a lot of stars
Hey,
going on
man.
today. Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Good to see
Great
you.
to see you. How are you in Los Angeles right now? Just like me, huh?
I'm in LA. Yeah.
Wow, cool. It's great
It's
to
hot
see you.
here today.
Yeah. Is it hot there where you are too?
It's very hot where I am. I'm over in Silver Lake. It's super hot.
Oh my God. I've got the air conditioner on. I've got
Yeah.
no pants on. It's just, I'm sitting in a bucket of ice. But yeah, that's too much information. Anyway, it's so great to have you here. When I first saw you in that class that we were in years and years ago, I just was like, this guy has got it all. He's a good looking guy. He's super talented. It just seems like he's confident. It just seemed like you had no obstacles. At the time, I felt sort of like all over the place, and I'm sure outwardly I was not expressing that perhaps, but the feeling of like you're just like, this guy's got it all. So yeah, so I was really impressed with your work back then, and that was kind of a special time, huh?
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I mean, that was, our youth. We were just all learning
Yeah.
how to do what we do. So it was I look back very, very fondly on that time. And like you said, I mean, it was a confusing time too, because you're just trying to get your bearings and
Right.
trying to figure out if you're any good at this thing that you're trying to do, and slowly learning bit by bit and getting slightly better every year. And it was a nice time.
It was a nice time. I remember sitting in there sometimes just looking up in the rafters, thinking how lucky I was to be there, because sometimes you're just kind of in a place and you feel like I'm in the right place,
Totally.
and the quality of work that was coming out of there and the bar that they kind of set was pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first night there. I was so nervous. It was, in Los Feliz, where like there wasn't even, Los Feliz is completely has changed so much now. But back then there wasn't a whole lot there, and I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what part of town I was in, and I remember sitting there, and the first couple scenes that I watched from students there, I just thought, this is like going to see a Broadway play. I mean,
It's nuts.
I was like, I better get good real quick, and I'm in a very special place.
Yeah, you had to and also you had to wait for a while. We were going to class twice a week. I don't know, 4 or 5 hours at a time sometimes, and the quality of work, but also there were so many people in the class that you got to go maybe once a month. Maybe if you were really pushing it, you could go a couple times a month. But when you got up there, I remember Jeffrey Tambor saying, you better back up a truck and load in your set. You better have a set that looks like it's ready to be shot, And I really appreciated that.
Yeah, me too. That was all part of taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Which was an important early lesson for me, is put it all in. Put it all in. Take it seriously, and take it as far as you can. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I think it was a good place to start for sure. I mean, it was definitely. But you've even done plays there since then, right?
I have. I've done a few plays there. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. It's a nice space as well. So to get to that spot, you were like a model before then, is that right?
Yeah, but that was when I was much younger. But I had already been acting in New York. I was going to the Lee Strasberg Institute there, and then I got a part in a play that came out to LA. and then I started to work a little bit more out here than I was in New York. So I'm someone who never wants to stop studying. So I was looking for a place to study out here, and
Yeah.
a friend of mine brought me to the Beverly Hills Playhouse, and yeah, that's where I
That's
started.
cool. That's cool. I'm changing the background here to get a little more serious. The so
Nice.
yeah, this is my dojo. So yeah, so you had been modeling. Okay, the Strasberg Institute, and you were in New
Yeah,
York at Strasberg, and you were studying with Anna
I
Strasberg. Is
was.
that right?
I was studying with Anna Strasberg and a guy named George Loris, who is a brilliant teacher. And yeah, that was the beginnings of me really taking acting seriously. They teach the method
Hmm.
there, and they were very much. That was the first place I ever went that took the craft of acting incredibly seriously, and so that was the beginning. And I
When
really
what was the
loved it there.
method like at that point? Like what when you can you describe kind of the exercises that you would do or the kind of things
It's
that you would
so
do?
funny.
Yeah,
Somebody asked me to describe the method recently, and I couldn't really do it.
it's probably tough.
But basically, it's using your own personal experiences, your own sense memories to come up with an emotion. So if you need to cry in a scene, if there's something that you can remember, your grandmother's hand, the rings on your grandmother's hands when she, you know, held your hand, or the smell of a lemon on a favorite lemon tree, or something that you can use sensorily to get you to where you need to be in a scene. And some of it's incredibly helpful, and some of it I found that I didn't really need.
Hmm.
I found that there were easier ways to get to
Hmm.
things than that. But the part of studying those things and taking the moment to moment in a scene so seriously was a great thing for me, which they did.
Yeah, it's what I've studied of that, which was when I was at Cal Arts. We did, I think we were working in the method essentially.
Uh huh.
We would do sense memory exercises where we would just go up on stage and remember all the different specifics of something
Yeah.
that happened to us. We like close our eyes and do it. And we just remember
Right.
we'd say, "Oh, it was raining. Oh, I was barefoot. I could feel the water on my feet. I could do it." And all of a sudden, people would just have a flood of emotions. It's like we were time traveling back to a particular moment. And then
Yeah.
eventually, what we did, I studied under this guy Lou Palter, who was a great acting teacher. But eventually, we'd make things up. We'd have
Oh,
these
really?
sense memory, yeah, where you'd say, and people would have these you'd have a similar visceral reaction to it if you got specific about the environment that you were
Right.
in, which was really interesting. And I think it builds imagination, which I think is hugely important for writers and actors. You know?
Yeah, the other thing I loved about the Strasberg Institute was they talked a lot about relaxation, which was a very important thing especially for a young actor, to
Yeah,
just clear your mind and relax. And yeah.
it's interesting. So yeah, so okay, so then you came to Los Angeles. What was the difference between New York and Los Angeles as far as the acting scene and what was going on?
I mean, I I learned very quickly that there were, at the time, this is in the mid '90s, that there was a lot more work here. So there was more everything. There was more
Hmm.
TV. There was more soaps. There was more movies,
Hmm.
and so I started to work in little things, and which wasn't really happening for me yet in New York. So
Yeah,
that was the first thing I noticed, that there was just more of everything here.
yeah. Do you now go back to New York at all?
I do, yeah. I go back all the time, and sometimes I'll fly in and see 4 plays in 4 days or something like that, and I really try to get back and see plays.
Have you lived there since at all?
I have not lived there since. No, mm-mm. Since
That's
I moved out
interesting.
here, I've lived here. Yeah.
So, what was the thing that kind of got you going in your acting career originally? After while we were doing Beverly Hills Playhouse and all that, what was the thing that kind of maybe launched your career, or was there a launching point?
I don't think there was a launching point. I think that I still feel like I have launching points.
Yeah.
the first job I got out here was a recurring role in General Hospital, and that felt like a huge deal because I was getting a paycheck, and then I started to get little guest stars on different TV shows and things like that, and that felt like a huge deal.
Yeah.
And then, I started to work with better directors. That was a big deal for me, and still is. So it's all been very, very incremental.
It's weird because it feels does it feel sort of lonely for you being an actor? I mean, because it's sort of a solitary kind of situation where you're going from job to job and you're, the only thing that's the same as you,
Yeah, I mean, especially now in the last 10 years, so much shoots out of town. So
Yeah.
You're in hotels by yourself. And, the thing people don't realize is that when you're not shooting, everyone else is. So
Yeah.
It's not like you can go hang out with somebody that on the thing that you're working with, because they're all working when you're not. But, all that takes a backseat to how grateful I am that I get to do it,
Yeah.
It's just so great to work. So I don't complain too much about loneliness or anything else when I'm working.
Yeah. You also get yourself in quality projects too. Do you do that? Do you say no to things, or how do you keep yourself
I don't say
in the
no to
zone?
too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't say no to too much. I know I'm a better actor when the writing is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And so that may have something to do with the fact that been in some good things. I also, I think there's something that a good director gets about me, and a good casting director that other people don't get. But I don't know. I honestly have been
It's
very
really
lucky.
interesting. Yeah. It's interesting because
Yeah.
okay, so I'm going to play a clip from Brothers and Sisters here with you in it. And let's just take a look at it and then we'll talk.
Hey.
Hey, come on in. Sit down.
So, Whit, I have been thinking about your job offer.
Anything you want to suggest, Kitty? Whole new ball game.
Red, white, and blue isn't me. It's Warren.
Don't say no to me. Go back out there and start this over.
Warren believes in the show. He can carry it. He has a strong back. He doesn't need a foil. He doesn't even need talking points. He has this incredible integrity.
Yeah, he's also gotten smug.
No, politicians have gotten smug. Politics has gotten smug. It's just the times we live in. It's not the messenger.
Say that on TV. Don't waste that on me. Listen to you. Power to elevate the discussion. Look, I agree. We have to change.
Whit.
We have... What?
Just give it to Warren. He earned it. I didn't. And you don't want to have to convince me.
Everyone wants me to convince them.
No, but then you'll have to turn around and you'll have to fire me in a month. And that... Just let me go so we can still love each other.
I've stopped loving you. Hell.
Oh, I cut it off a little early. Okay, yeah.
That's all right.
So all of a sudden you're doing like a network
I haven't seen
television
that in
show.
a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that like?
but-
As far as like, were you feeling? How are you feeling in that role and all that?
I mean, the big takeaway for that was working with most of my scenes were with Callista Flockhart, and she had come off Ally McBeal, and she had just done hundreds and hundreds of episodes of television, and it was really cool to work with someone who was such a pro. I mean, who would she really took care of herself in scenes. She'd stop the scene if it wasn't working for her. She would move something around if she wanted something. It was a very interesting to watch as an actor. How well she took care of herself in the scene, and I think I'm such a fan of hers. I just saw her in the Geffen production of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
How was that?
Which I thought she was brilliant, and so yeah, I have very fond memories of that show, but it was a long time ago. I hadn't seen that forever.
Camila Lopez is asking, do you have any favorite casting directors?
Well, I have a lot of favorite casting directors. Megan Lewis, who cast me in 12 Years a Slave and True Detective. I'm a huge fan of hers, and she's really took a chance with me a couple of times, and I don't know. I think she's incredibly good at her job, and I'm incredibly grateful to her. And I think she's super smart.
Did you ever have trouble, because you're a good-looking guy and you were a model and everything like that, did you have any trouble getting people to take you seriously as an actor? Because these roles in these things are not just for good-looking guys. You know what I mean? They're character roles.
Yeah, I never thought I was that kind of good looking though. That sort of square jawed Ken kind of thing. So I think I could go either way, which worked for me. So no, I never had that problem.
Let's
It's pretty
see if
easy to make me ugly.
I want to play the true detective one here. This is good. Here we go.
Jimmy Ledoux. Came up spotless. 3 kids, wife's a teacher. He coaches his boys' pee-wee football team.
Any relation?
Some of the dudes around, I never had to worry about a connection. But yeah, my dad's second cousin or something. My pop didn't like him none. Said they weren't white enough to be white trash. What's this about exactly?
Man asked us to locate his daughter. That was a long time ago, but it looks like she might have known DeWall.
Sorry to hear that. Must know what happened to them. Sick shits. Pop said they died too quick.
Is there anything you remember that you can tell us about these guys?
Just they were nuts. Looked at you funky. Reggie was always asking about the girls in my school, and a couple times I saw him DeWall just said kooky stuff.
Any chance you ever saw a third man with him? A man who had a bunch of scars on the bottom of his face.
It's weird you say that. I remember that face. My pop let him use our deer camp once. Took me with him. I was like 11. They were maybe 10 years older than me. They introduced us. The guy, his face underneath his nose and cheeks, scarred. Gave me funny looks all night. Every time I glanced at him, staring at me.
Any chance this man with the scars was another Ledoux?
No. I don't know. I don't think so. Next morning, men were too hungover to hunt. Pop and I went home.
You ever see him again? The guy with the scars?
Never again. I'd remember.
That's great. That's good. So, okay, so can you break this down a little bit and just tell us about your process on this particular scene and what was important about it, and, your technique a little bit?
I mean, when I watch that, all I think about is how hard I worked on that accent. It was supposed to be incredibly subtle. Excellent. And I worked with a coach, and then I worked with somebody that was from that region, and I wanted to show up. I was working with those 2 guys, so I wanted to show up super prepared, and I did my homework on that one. And then I was supposed to be the guy who, from a very, very screwed up family on that show, who got his life together and was tired of talking about these terrible people in my family. And so I had to have a certain disregard for those 2 guys, which was a challenge because they're 2 actors that I admire so much. So I had to go into that scene with a lot of disregard for having 2 people come to my work and stop my work and ask me a bunch of questions that I don't want to answer. So
you talk about that relaxation that you had worked on Strasberg Institute. How do you prepare for a scene? Okay, you're going in with these 2 like real heavy hitters who've done a million movies. Do you prepare in any particular way? What was it like? Was it stressful? Was it relaxing because you kind of were in good hands?
I mean, I was in great hands. Cary Fukunaga is one of my favorite directors ever, so I knew he was going to take good care of all of us. But I knew that I had to be relaxed because the character is relaxed. So that was a no-brainer. It just had to be. So I had to find it somehow. But you're in your trailer waiting to go on, and you just do some deep breathing and make sure you know your lines, and you just show up.
How important is your process of like reading or knowing about directors or, these things? Is it just because you have an interest in plays and films that you have I know you're a well-read person as well, or do you have a particular discipline to like, I want to read a book every week or whatever?
I mean, it's, everyone talks about this, but it's true. It gets harder to read books now because we have all these,
Yeah.
phones and screens. And so I do commit to reading old-fashioned books.
I like that. On
as much
Instagram,
as
you like will post the cover of a book.
Yeah.
And I think that's also very helpful. I notice like other actors that I'm working with these days, sometimes they don't have any knowledge of history of the theater or, what's come before us. And I feel like it's our duty to do that.
Especially when I'm not, absolutely, especially when I'm not working, to look at art, just to look at what good writers are writing and what good painters are painting. And, it all informs my work.
Mm-hmm. You started To Kill a Mockingbird somewhere, right? In the
I
play.
did, in a big, beautiful
I remember seeing that
theater.
Well, how did that come about?
Yeah.
And what was that like?
It was so great. It just fell into my lap. My college drama teacher was directing it in summer stock, and she was casting it, and she called me or sent me a message, an email out of the blue, and said, hey, would you have any interest in playing Atticus Finch in a big, beautiful theater in northern Iowa for the summer? A cabin, yes. And it was such a great experience, and to spend time in that world, in that book, and that play, and it's really fun. I really want to do it again at some point, somewhere.
You have done 2 plays at the Skylight Theater, The Real Thing, Tom Stoppard, and then Rabbit Hole, which is a pretty heavy-duty, emotionally charged piece. Is that something that you make an effort to do theater, or do you still make an effort to do theater? Is that?
I do. I do. I mean, I think it's still the thing that really scares me. To do a run of a big play, and in a great way. Mm-hmm. So I do. I just as an actor, I think it's so good for your chops, and it's really, really hard work. And sometimes other jobs you get as an actor are not as hard. So it's nice to really roll up your sleeves and do some really tough work. And
this is a quote from the Los Angeles Times about your performance in Rabbit Hole. Jay Huguley dwells inside the play's contradictions and connects us to its anguished, buoyant heart. Now, that's a great review.
That's nice. Yeah, I love that play so much. It's a very, very sad play, and it was the only time ever I've 4 weeks into the run, I thought, I'm getting a little sad. I need to figure out a different approach to this kind of work next time.
It's hard,
because it's a very, very tough play. It's if you know the play, it's about the loss of a child. Parents grieving over the loss of a child.
Nicole Kidman. That's got to be heavy to plumb those depths every night, night after night if you're doing a play. How do you keep that kind of fresh? Do you think about emotion at all? I mean, how do you do it?
I do, and I did then, and I'm not sure I would do it again that way. I remember turning to the actress who was playing my wife, and she had a 4-year-old at the time. And I turned to her one day in rehearsal and said, "How are you doing this? You have a kid, little kid." And she looked at me. She said, "Oh, I'm not using my kid in any way." She was completely using another, substitution for a kid. So her kid did not come into her process for doing the play at all. And I was like, "Oh, that's smart. I need to figure that out," because I was taking that home a little bit for the first time. That play was very, very sad. When it was over, I thought I got to figure out a different. If I do a play again that is this sad, I need to figure out a better way to do it.
Live in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. Okay, so now you were in 12 Years a Slave. Now this is First of all, I have to see more of Steve McQueen's movies but they look great. I have not seen his earlier movies. I watched the trailers of them, and I'm like, oh my God. And Michael Fassbender and all that, it just looks extraordinary. So I've got to do my research and go back and watch those films. But this was a director that you wanted to work with, right? How did you land this role? Because, a lot of the smaller roles in this, or the cameos, are these really well-known actors. So how did you land that role? Not to
Paul
say that you're not a
Giamatti
great actor or anything, but you're like, Paul Giamatti and Brad Pitt and all these people.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti, I think, is one of the best performances in the home. I just think he's brilliant. That was like, came from heavens. I mean, I walked out of his previous movie, Shame, with Michael Fassbender, and I thought, oh, wow, that's the reason I became an actor, whatever that director is doing. And it would be a dream to work with someone like that. And a couple of months later, I just happened to get the audition, and it went really well. And then they called me back and gave me some notes, and thought it went away. And then they called me and said I got it, and I was on a plane to New Orleans.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And that had to have been a tough. I'm going to play a clip from it here with you in it, and we'll come back.
Platt! Where's the ball called Platt? Come here, boy. Your name is Platt, is it?
Yes, sir.
You know that man?
Mr. Parker.
Say again?
Mr. Parker.
The man received a letter compiling many accusations. You look me in the eye. And on your life, you answer me truthfully. Have you any other name than Platt?
Solomon Northup is my name.
Sheriff, what's all this?
It's official business.
My nigga, my business.
Your business waits. Tell me of your family.
Platt.
I have a wife, 2 children.
What the hell?
Or your children's name.
Margaret and Alonzo.
What was your wife's name before her marriage?
Ann Hampton, I am who I say.
Where you going, Platt? Who authorized you to interfere with my property?
My authority.
Platt, you come back here. Platt, you come back here, boy.
Wow, that is an intense film. I watched it again, I rewatched it, and it's really, really hard to take, but really, really necessary that people see that, I think, because it's history, and we can't let history repeat itself in these. And so, okay, what was that like, being in that film, playing a historical character? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the source material was, very, very available to me. So I spent a lot of time with the book, and, my guy was a real person who was just doing his job, was sent out there to the property to bring him in. And, just like I just think he's the best director. Yeah, he's a sheriff.
What is it about him, do you think, that makes him such a great director? I mean, from after having worked with him.
He just does not shy away from the truth at all. That movie could have been a lot easier to watch with another director, but he
it was not easy.
Told the damn truth about that story and those people and our history.
He got these actors to do play these roles honestly, like Paul Giamatti. It's just I mean, the amount of trust on that set must have been extreme. And,
Yeah, I was just there for a day or two, so I didn't see a whole lot of that. But
yeah,
he hired a really great group of actors, and yeah, trust is a great word because you can tell how much they all trust each other.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so speaking of trust, I've got a pop quiz for you today.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
geared towards you. Thank you so much for this discussion because it's super, super useful. I just do want to check the chat room and see what. This is one question for you. How did you get your reps? Are they the same ones you started with?
They're not the same ones I started with, but I think originally they saw me in a play that I was in, and I signed with them, and then they moved to another place, and I went with them, and they moved to another place, and I went with them. So I've been with my current ones for a long time, but yeah, they originally saw my work in a play.
Really? What play was that?
I think it was The Real Thing by Tom
The Real
Stoppard.
Thing, Tom Stoppard. What an incredible playwright he is. Whew.
Yeah, he's incredible. Yeah, he's one of the best.
When you're not acting in between gigs, what else do you do to feed your creativity, Alexander?
I'm pretty good at that. I make a great effort to go see as much art as I possibly can. I look at what's showing in galleries around LA. I go to museums a lot. I go see painting a lot. I go see films. I read. I do think it's important from our teacher that we had, Joel. His whole thing was like, feed yourself constantly with other art. Look at what other artists are doing, and whether they're musicians or painters or photographers or writers, because it all informs your work. So I make a great effort to do that as much as I can.
That's good. I want to ask you one other thing. You did a movie where there was a girl living in your ceiling, and she was spying on you and living in your house. What was that like? Because it was a lot of scenes of just you alone,
right? And
also you're kind of carrying the movie in a lot more scenes, a lot more going on with you. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was an interesting job because I just had one day with her, which is my first day, and then we were shooting in Texas, and then she went off, and I stayed for the rest of the movie, and so.
Really? So she was gone completely.
Yeah.
The girl who was living in the ceiling spying on you. And so
she shot all her stuff first. I came in to Texas and shot a day with her. And then shot the rest by myself. Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, it was a really good, interesting exercise to act with somebody who wasn't there. But I'm really, really proud of that movie. It's called Sunny in the Dark, and I think it's a really interesting meditation on loneliness. That movie, which is
because it's about a guy who's lonely and doesn't even know that there's someone he lives with, essentially.
And exactly, and she's lonely and knows that she's living with me, and we slowly, unbeknownst to each other, become less lonely. And I thought it was a very, very interesting idea.
I've got to see that movie.
Film.
I haven't seen it, but it looks good. All right, contest time. This is a pop quiz for you. It is an actory kind of pop quiz. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a quote. I'm going to tell you a quote, and then I'm going to tell you 3 different people, and you tell me who said it. Okay. And then there'll be a couple.
I'm going to be bad at this, but let's see. Let's see.
Sunny in the Dark. I just want to say, Camel is going to watch it. It's streaming. Yes, it's streaming, I think. All right. So here we go. Oh, I'm going to play the trailer for Trailer in the Dark. Just 1 second, since I have it here, so people can see that.
Nothing is yet in its true form. I don't know what he's so scared of.
What do you do?
I'm a therapist.
I guess we're all hiding.
I'm not a fan of change, at least for the sake of change.
You're not married, are you?
He's lonelier and sadder than me because he thinks he doesn't have anybody. Even though he does. And he doesn't know. He keeps me from being too lonely because I have him all to myself. I think I'd rather die. My name is Sunny.
All right. It's time for the quiz. That movie looks intense. So looking forward to seeing that.
It is.
Yeah. Bilo says, sounds like you continue to live your life and have life experiences that support you as an actor. Yeah, I think that's important. I think that's super important. All right, so I'm going to read this thing to you. The hummingbirds are going to try and guess also who said this. Acting isn't a game of pretend. It's an exercise in being real. And these are your choices. Laurence Olivier, Uta Hagen, Sidney Poitier. Who said it?
I'm going to say Sidney Poitier.
Okay, and let's see what the hummingbirds are saying. Sidney, this seems to be, Kamala says Uta. Cappy says Uta. So let's see. Chuck says Sidney
I bet
Poitier.
I bet I got it wrong.
You think so? Let's see. Well, it's not Uta Hagen. It's not Laurence Olivier. It is Sidney Poitier.
Oh, wow.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't think
it sounded. It's a great quote, and it didn't sound very British. So.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah. Acting isn't a game of pretend. It's an exercise in being real. Anyway, that's a good one. Okay, this is the next one. We are here to laugh at the odds and live our lives so well that death will tremble to take us. Charles Bukowski, J.D. Salinger, or Gertrude Stein?
We're here to laugh at the odds and live our lives so well that death will tremble to take us.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a good one, though, isn't it?
It's a really good one.
So the chat room is saying Charles Bukowski, Gertrude Stein, Salinger. So far we have everybody. But it comes down to what you guess then.
I'm going to say it sounds like Salinger. I'm going to say Salinger.
J.D. Salinger. You know, he's got more books coming out, J.D. Salinger. Did you see that documentary
that's what I
film
heard.
about him? That's pretty interesting.
I did, yeah.
He was kept on writing, but he was like, I'm not going to show it to anybody until after I'm dead. Wow. That's an interesting person. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. Now it's down to Charles Bukowski and J.D. Salinger. And drum roll, please. It is Bukowski. Oh, the hummingbirds got that one. That's a good one. All right, let's see what the next one is. I can resist everything except temptation. Oscar Wilde, Tennessee Williams, or Virginia Woolf?
Well, if it's not Oscar Wilde, it's somebody imitating Oscar Wilde. So
interesting.
I'm going to say Oscar Wilde.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so the chat room is going wild. Not to give it away or anything. Going wild. All right, let's see. Let's see if it's Oscar Wilde. It's not Virginia Woolf. And it's not Tennessee Williams. It's Oscar Wilde. Yeah. Tina Adams got it. Howard got it. Chuck. And then, of course, Jay got it. So I think Jay gets the point. I'm not controlling the scoreboard. This is being controlled by Blas Lorenzo remotely. Okay, here's the next one. Acting childish seems to come naturally, but acting like an adult, no matter how old we are, just doesn't come easy to us. Robin Williams, Lily Tomlin, or Walter Matthau?
Lily Tomlin played a lot of children in her, career.
Yeah.
She was always,
The big chair.
Yeah, in the big chair.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Lily Tomlin.
I like that. So let's see. Oh, Kamala says, you're the smartest contest taker so far of all of the guests. Wow, that's something to say. That is something to say. So you're saying Lily Tomlin. Matt Wright is saying Robin Williams. Howard is saying Robin Williams. Chuck Goldsmith, 100% Robin Williams. All right, we got a smackdown here. Cappy Adaship is saying Lily Tomlin, agreeing with you. Bilo is saying Robin. Everyone's saying Robin. You're saying Lily. Let's see what happens. Oh, Tina's on your side. All right, here we go. Drum roll, please. Oh, Robin Williams went away right away.
Wow.
So the only thing, and it's Lily Tomlin. Yeah, you got it. You totally got it.
Yes.
Tina Adams got it as well. That was nice. All right, we got a few more here. This is fun, right? This is fun.
Totally.
In the end, everything is a gag. Groucho Marx, Lucille Ball, Charlie Chaplin.
That sounds like Groucho Marx to me.
Groucho Marx, okay. Howard Aronin is doing a Lily Tomlin impersonation. My name is Edith Ann, and I'm 5 years old. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's her. I love Lily Tomlin. All right, so you're saying Groucho Marx?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Charlie Chaplin, Chuck says. Tina says Groucho Marx. She's kind of getting a lot of them today. All right, let's see. Groucho Marx is gone. Lucille Ball is gone. Charlie Chaplin. Wow.
Oh, man.
Cappy Adaship got that one. So did Chuck Goldsmith. Charlie Chaplin. In the end, everything is a gag. It's true. It's true. All right, this is a special one. Characters in Death of a Salesman and one not. Willie Loman, Biff, Happy, Sneezy, Stanley, and Linda. Which one's not in Death of a Salesman?
Well, there's no Sneezy. There's no Sneezy in Death of a Salesman.
There's not?
No.
What are you talking about? Come on now. Okay, let's see about that one. We'll see about that. Willie Loman, of course, is real. Happy is real. Biff is real. Stanley is real. Linda, of course, is the wife. Sneezy! You're correct. You're correct. Maybe these are getting easier. All right. Okay, here's another one just like this. Shakespeare characters and one that's not. Hermione, Dogberry, Sir Toby Belch, Bottom, Lord Voldemort, and Dr. Butts. Which one's not a Shakespeare character?
I don't remember Lord Voldemort in Shakespeare.
You don't? Come on. No. He was in there. I think he was in King Lear. He was like King Lear's brother.
I think he wasn't.
Yeah, everybody's going Lord Voldemort. Okay, so that one was a little easy. I didn't know that there was a Dr. Butts, though. That was one to throw you off. Apparently, he's in Henry VIII. All right, one more. Yes, we're going to go. It's kind of obvious, this one, I guess. Hermione, of course, is also a Shakespearean character and also...
they were trying to throw us off.
That's right. They being me. All right, so here we go. Your success and happiness lies in you. This is the final one. It's tied, by the way. Oh, no. Jay's got 4. Yeah, it's tied 4-4, apparently. I'm not keeping score, Blossus. Okay. Your success and happiness lies in you. Resolve to keep happy, and your joy and you shall form an invincible host against difficulties. Benjamin Franklin, Anne Frank, or Mother Teresa.
Wow,
this is for all the marbles.
There.
This is for all the marbles.
Your success and happiness lies in you. Resolve to keep happy, and your joy
and you
shall form an invincible host against difficulties.
Yeah. This is for everything. This is for the whole all the marbles.
I don't think it's Benjamin Franklin.
Howard Aronin thinks
it sounds, the attitude is very hopeful, like Anne Frank.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Anne Frank.
Okay. And that's your final answer. All right.
That's my final answer.
Okay, let's see what other people are saying. Matt Wright says Ben Franklin. Kamala says Anne Frank. He agrees with you. Tina Adams says Ben Franklin. Howard, Ben Franklin. Chuck says Anne Frank. Cappy says Anne Frank. All right. So if it's Anne Frank, you're going to win. If it's not, you're going to lose. So here we go. And the first one that's not is... Oh, yeah. Looks like it's not... Who was that? I forget. Anyway, it's not that. It's not Benjamin... Or it's not... Well, let's see. I don't know what it is yet.
Mother
It is
Teresa.
Anne Frank. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mother Teresa, I forgot.
Wow.
It is Anne Frank. That was totally...
Wow.
That was like... I blew the
It's
end.
from her diary.
Yeah, it's from her diary.
Yeah.
Isn't that great, though? It's such a great quote.
Yeah. It's a great quote.
Yes. All right. So thanks so much for being on the show. Thanks for playing this contest.
Hey, Joel, it was really, really great to see you again. It's been too long. I
Yeah,
appreciate
it
it.
has
It was
been
really
too
nice
long.
to talk to you.
And congratulations on your win. And can you tell us if you have anything coming out that we're going to see that you're excited
Been
about?
working on this show called Outer Banks on Netflix, which is, I
Awesome.
can't say anything about, but that'll
Yes.
be coming up in the next season. And then I just did a movie called Now I See with two great actors, Annalise Basso and Stephen Ogg, which is a thriller we shot in Indiana with a very creepy thriller about a blind woman whose child goes missing, and first-time director Carissa Stutzman, and so I'm very excited about that.
That's great. I got to say one other thing. I watched your Walking Dead episodes of it that you were in, and that was horrific.
Yeah.
When they were smushing you against the fence and you were dying. That looked dangerous. That looks dangerous to me. How do they even do that?
I mean, they made a prosthetic head for me so they could smush that through the fence.
Oh God!
But yeah, it was an interesting day at work. It was like one of the most zombies that they ever had on set.
Were you ever claustrophobic in that moment when they were shooting it?
No.
It's you're totally taken care of.
Yeah, the hardest part was trying to climb over a fence as many times as we had to do it. We just had to repeat it over and over and over again. I was tired by the end of the day.
All right, thanks for being on the show. And I'll see you soon.
Great to see you, Joel.
Great seeing
All right,
you too.
Take care.
All right, take care. I love this band. This is Evil Walks. Man in the Box. Thanks to Evil Walks. Fast and Furious. Goes along with what we were talking about on Tuesday about building a box around yourself and breaking out. Oh, we got a question. I'm gonna have to say say. Oh, that's such a rough one, Howard. Alice in Chains or Soundgarden? I'm gonna have to go Soundgarden on that one. Although, because Alice in Chains, he died pretty fast. And Chris Cornell, Audio Slave, and Soundgarden and all that. More of a legacy, I guess. Although the lead singer, Lane Staley, I think went to Meadowdale, which is a high school near me. Bye, Lunch Therapy.